Hello again everyone, this is Vincent and this is the final episode 10 of the Particulars Let's Play. Just a word of warning, prepare to die. So in chapter 10 we finally use all four fundamental forces, which means we have black holes. Also in this chapter, I will probably be spending a lot of time in either examination mode or doing lots of repetitive stuff, so I'll probably be fast forwarding through the gameplay itself, simply because it's tedious. Alright, so in this level, we have a new objective. We've got to destroy a black hole. So to destroy a black hole, you've got to remember that black holes shed mass every so often. When the black hole sheds all of its mass, we've destroyed it. However, that's easier said than done because there's generally lots of stuff spawning which likes to keep it fed. Alright, so in this level, basically what's going to happen is that two neutrons are going to spawn in those cages over there. We can't touch them because they're in those block all barriers. What they're going to do is they're going to activate these spawners, sending neutrons flying in the directions of the arrows. Left to its own devices, the neutrons will sustain the black hole. However, what we've got to do is we've got to spawn anti-neutrons over here in order to intercept these neutrons, and hopefully the black hole starves out before we get killed or something. Now, if you mistime your spawn because they're traveling along along the arrows, because they're not charged and because they don't have charge, they can and very easily can miss. And that can either mean that both of them fall into the black hole, where it contributes twice as much mass than if you didn't actually do anything, or the neutron can just make a beeline straight for you and kill you. The other way to die is you can just fall into a black hole. Simple enough. So I'm just staying in examination mode here, just to make sure that I actually stay inside the spawner. Looks like they're going to spawn at about the same time. Note that your spawners are slightly faster than the other spawners, so you do have some leeway in terms of your reaction to the spawning. This might miss. That was close. Oh no, this is probably miss. Oh no, that still works. Oh no, this will probably miss. Oh no, that might still work. Oh no, this will probably miss. Oh, I missed it. Golly. But the black hole's gone. Okay. Just pause it here. Basically what we've got to do is we've got to cause two annihilations, and we've got to keep the black hole's mass less than 45. What's going to happen in this level is that a positron and an electron are going to spawn in these cages inside the spawners over here. They're going to very rapidly spawn positrons and electrons. Now, even though they're very light, because they're spawning very quickly, you do have a limited amount of time before the black hole gets too big. Pretty much what you have to do is you've got to first of all spawn a electron over here, and pretty much just expel it in the general direction of these positrons by going down here. The charge should hopefully bring it close together. Hopefully it just knocks out one of the positrons en route to the black hole. If you accidentally knock out the one inside this cage, what will happen is that a lot of electrons will now start flooding into the black hole, causing the charge to be very negative, which is bad news for you because you are positive and you will eventually get attracted to the black hole. If that's the case, then quickly grab a positron and hopefully it annihilates one of the electrons before it's too late. If you did knock out one of the ones en route here, just do the same thing as step 1. You just grab another positron and do it again. Electron, sorry. You use the electron and not the positron first time around because you're positive and the electron's negative. You need the opposite charges to hold it. Oh no, I've accidentally annihilated the one in the spawner, which means I should head over to the right hand side very quickly now. Note that the positron can get sucked into the black hole, so you might need to okay, there's the other annihilation. You might need to spawn it a few times, which I had to. Okay, this level is the bane of my existence. Seriously. Let's pause it here. Alright, so in this level, we've got to destroy 2 black holes at the same time. Well, not simultaneously, but you've got to destroy both of them. Basically, what will happen is particles are going to spawn on the far left and far right, going up and down respectively. And they're going to curve around the place because the screen's curved. So the one that's spawning on the left, you can see behind this pause menu, is it's made up of a charmed quark and an anti-down quark. That thing is called a D plus meson. On the right, which you can't see at the moment but will spawn, will be made up of a strange quark and an anti-up quark. That is called a kaon minus. So yeah, basically you've got to annihilate these particles somehow before they can fall into the black hole and cause havoc and make them too big. So my basic strategy for this level is I camp up here and I intercept both particles. So first time around it's just the D plus meson that comes around here. Second time around, when the kaon minus comes around, it will generally join with the D plus meson, and it'll just clump up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully intercept the particles somewhere up the top, and decay the charmed quark into a down quark, and the strange quark into an up quark at the same time. Now, when the charmed quark decays into the down quark, it should hopefully annihilate the down quark it's attached to. It's not that simple, because if you're a bit too close, it can annihilate you instead. But the other problem with this strategy is that when you decay the charmed quarks and the strange quarks into the down and ups, they create W bosons. Now the W bosons are really annoying because they're really difficult to control once you've decayed the particles. So several things can happen to the W bosons. One of the best case scenarios is that the W bosons annihilate each other. A slightly less optimal but still equally valid approach is that the W bosons will join up with the up or down quarks. So W plus plus anti-down, W minus plus anti-down makes an anti-charmed, and the anti-charmed will annihilate with the charmed in the D plus meson, or the anti-up with a W plus boson rather, will become an anti-strange and annihilate the anti-strange. Another thing that can happen is that the W plus boson can decay into an electron or a positron, depending on the polarity. Now, it's not as, even though it does get rid of the problem of W bosons spawning, the electrons do contribute a tiny bit of mass, but more importantly, they contribute charge to these black holes. And because these mesons are charged, they can cause some problems. Another thing that can happen is that the W bosons can hit electrons or positrons, and it can turn into neutrinos, which is perfectly fine because neutrinos really don't do anything. They just fly off. So getting to the bad things that can happen, a bad thing that can happen is that the W bosons themselves can fall into the black holes. This is bad because not only does it charge the black hole, but for some reason the W bosons have a lot of mass. Don't know why. The very worst case scenario is that the W boson meets one of the second generation quarks, so like the strange or the charmed, turning into a third generation, so a top or a bottom, and that's bad news because they have a lot of mass, and when they fall into black holes, which they probably will, it makes the black hole to increase in size a lot. And at that point, it's pretty much GG. I wish there was a better strategy of doing this level, but seriously, it's a whole lot of blind luck because you can't control the W bosons. Finally.